Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. What do we got today, Rick?
We got the Week 6 news and injury report.
Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
What's poppin', Rick?
What's up, bro?
Nothing much. Mine is Morgan Colby. I got Rick Lemon with me. How the Fantasy Champions doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Wasn't talking to you.
Except in the home league.
Yeah, that's true. You are
always
horrible in the home league.
I know. Well, once I lost Barkley, I knew I had no chance. I was like, well,
you've been close the last couple weeks, though.
Competitive with 12 teams, and you lose your best player by far. It's kind of tough to come back from that.
Yep.
I'm trying, though, man. I was the third highest score this week and still lost.
No one's selling you any players. Like you have Mike
Myles Gaskin.
You have okay. Stop. You have Mike Evans. Why not just sell Mike Evans for a running back?
I tried.
No one Did you try to hit up?
I did, but
the Eckler owner.
No, I'm not gonna get Kamara for him. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, Rick is 1-4, completely collapsing internally.
I think I'm like the fifth highest score in the league, though.
Wow. We got some stuff to get to in this episode. We're going to talk about some news and some injuries around the league. Yep. So just bear with us. If I miss anything, Rick, just say you moron and then tell us what it is.
Will do.
Will do. So we'll jump right into that in a second. Before we do that, check out our website, thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter @TheFFChamps, on Instagram @TheFantasyChampions. If you still have a Facebook, go to facebook.com/TheFantasyChampions and like us over there. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any other major podcasting platforms, please subscribe and leave a review. It really helps the brand, really helps grow our subscriber list. And our listenership, so we can continue making this podcast. Be sure to share it with your friends if you're listening on YouTube. We're trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, so be sure to subscribe, click the bell for notifications, like and comment down below. Let's jump into the news and injury report for the week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Rick was complaining that we record this episode a little bit earlier in the week, so sometimes some news happens. The NFL's always moving.
I wasn't complaining. I was just saying.
You were complaining. It was a pure complaint.
Maybe a little bit.
Let's go to the first news point. So this happened like Friday, I think. I completely forgot about it. I guess there's no interest. But CBS's Jason Lock-and-4 reported that Washington quarterback Dwayne Haskins is likely to be traded before the October 29th trade deadline.
Wow.
So it sounds like Washington doesn't want anything to do with Haskins no more, which is, is what it is.
That's so stupid to me.
Yeah. He wasn't even like when they benched him for like, what's his name? I keep calling him Case Keenum. Kyle Allen. Same thing.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. But Haskins, I was surprised that they wanted to put him on the trade block. And like when you look at what they had, like he threw 360 yards and like 2 interceptions in that game.
And he was playing like the teams they were playing against was like the Baltimore Ravens and like,
I know.
Like the Rams.
Like give the kid a shot.
Tough teams, and he was doing decent, and then they just benched him. And it's like, well,
yeah. So they're gonna try to trade him. Reportedly, no interest. The trade deadline is October 29th. I thought it was November 3rd.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know which one it is.
Okay, but anyway, they're trying to trade him before the trade deadline. Right. So keep an eye on the Haskins situation.
Yeah, I mean, against the Ravens, dude, he threw 32. He went 32 of 45, which is a great completion percentage for 314 yards. No interceptions, no touchdowns. But against Baltimore, who is probably the best defense in the league for a young quarterback, that's fantastic. And they benched him off that game.
Yeah,
it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It must be. Or it could be like a locker room thing, maybe. Like maybe there's an issue with
Sometimes it goes a little bit deeper in terms of in game. Like I noticed rookie quarterbacks seem to struggle in the red zone a lot.
Sure, yeah.
And that like you can get as many yards as you want, but if you can't score in the red zone, your team's never going to be good. Cincinnati.
They're going for Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence.
Yep. But anyway, yeah. Where's a landing spot for Haskins?
No idea. I mean, there's plenty of teams that could use a good young quarterback. I think Pittsburgh would be fantastic to sit behind Roethlisberger the rest of the season and then maybe take over. A team that has a veteran quarterback where he can just kind of sit behind for a year or two. But, I mean, it's crazy.
I'd take him over here in New England.
I would love him in New England, but I don't think that would happen, though.
Yeah. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin said Deontay Johnson will be a limited participant in practice for most of the week, and I think that's what we've seen for a majority of the week. I believe you said on Wednesday that Deontay Johnson didn't practice, along with Juju and who else?
Yes, Eric Ebron.
Eric Ebron. So keep an eye on all those situations. I'm assuming that most of those are just rest days. Besides Deontay Johnson who had the back injury, but they're saying that it's more than likely that he is going to play this week, so prepare yourself for that. NBC Washington's J.P. Finley reported that Kyle Allen has been medically cleared to start against the their Week 6 matchup against the Giants. Kyle Allen will remain the team starter in Week 6, so Alex Smith will not play in that game.
Interesting. He didn't do bad when he played Kyle Allen, so it makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about how if Alex Smith played, it would be good for Antonio Gibson. He likes to dump it off to the running backs.
I think it'd be good either way, because if you remember last year, Carolina's quarterback was Kyle Allen for a lot of time. He dumped it off to McCaffrey a lot.
That's true.
So I think both guys.
I was going to say, but that was system, bro. But then they have Ron Rivera, so.
Same system, yeah.
Same system. DJ Chark isn't practicing Wednesday with an ankle injury that he obtained in Sunday's matchup. I believe he might have gone back into that game. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure he left the game in like late third quarter, early fourth quarter, somewhere in that range.
Okay. So just keep an eye on Chark moving into the weekend. Who are they playing, the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Oh, geez, I have no idea. I never know who the Jaguars are playing, bro.
Does anybody? James Robinson owners, maybe.
Quick, the Jaguars play the Lions this week.
Okay. So what concerns me is that if the ankle injury is, that was like a long pause, but
I know, I was like, did I lose?
The ankle injury, even if he's fine, I feel like Jacksonville would like limit him in the game. So I'm like, do you want to start him against Detroit at this point if he's active?
If he's not limited, though, Detroit doesn't have a fantastic defense at all. So
right.
But that is a legit concern, though.
Okay. Just if you're going to start Chark, take it with a grain of salt. Falcons fired Dan Quinn, their head coach. They also fired Raheem Morris. They didn't fire Raheem Morris. They also fired their GM, and they promoted Raheem Morris to head coach, their defensive coordinator. So that means that once again, the Atlanta Falcons are going to be run offensively by Dirk Cutter. So expect 645 million passing attempts.
Can't wait. Calvin Ridley.
I'm surprised it took them this long to fire Dan Quinn, considering that he lost many Super Bowls.
Well, not
just
many,
just one.
The one felt like many.
The one felt like many. That's true. I meant many games.
Yes.
Where he literally, I think 3 times this year, the team had a 20-point lead going into halftime, and they blew it all 3 times. Like, how do you do that? That has got to be poor coaching.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, I think a lot of people are of the mind that this is going to have a massive effect on the Falcons offense. I would say no, considering Dan Quinn was a defensive minded head coach to begin with. This was Dirk Cutter's offense. So I don't think that anything offensively is fully going to change for them. So I am not concerned about anything changing in terms of Julio and Calvin Ridley and Hayden Hurst and Todd Gurley and the like. So,
yeah.
I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, but
no, I pretty much agree. I mean, I don't think it's going to be the same offense overall.
Okay. In the saddest news of the week, crushed my heart and soul, stepped on it, my inner Cowboy fan that I refuse to believe I have was so saddened by the loss of Dak Prescott. It was ugly.
Yeah, it was tough to watch.
So what was even worse about it, like you watch the play and you go, ooh, that did not look good. And then don't look it up, by the way, if you're not of the squeamish descent.
Yes, yeah.
It does not look good.
It's like the Gordon Hayward injury in the NBA a few years ago.
Yeah.
It looked pretty bad.
So the first initial thought process was that it was just a dislocation of his right ankle. And that would be a 6 to 8 week injury. So that was the first initial response. And
I think anyone like I watched that replay and I heard that too. And when I watched it happen though, I immediately thought that's not a dislocation. That's a break.
Yeah. It can look like that on dislocations. Usually you hear a pop when there's a compound fracture. I know when we were watching the Celtics when Gordon Hayward went down that one time a couple of years ago, you could hear an audible pop.
Right.
So obviously, I don't know whether it was crowd noise or whatever it was, you didn't hear that. So I think a lot of people were like, oh, he's okay.
It could be. Yeah.
So anyway, he had both. He got surgery literally that night. But what was more crushing was the fact that he was bawling, crying his eyes out, going off the field. And whether those were tears of I don't want to play or tears of there goes my money. One of the two. Either way, I do feel bad for Dak. He's worked very hard and he's fantastic.
He's been trying to get a contract for like 2 years.
He deserves every penny of it.
Finally in a contract year, and he was going to get paid, man. He was throwing like 400 yards a game.
Yeah.
He was going to get paid by somebody, even if it wasn't Dak.
And they still weren't winning. Mike McCarthy
he still might
sucks.
get paid, but it hurts his chances.
Yeah. The rumors were he might get paid more than Mahomes. Which I don't know. I would do that, but
that's definitely
anyway. He deserves to get paid at some point. So
he does, yeah.
Anyway, as far as the impacts of fantasy in the Dallas Cowboys, what our show actually is about.
Mm-hmm.
I think this has, as much as everyone loves the red rifle.
Not me included.
I told you this, I think earlier this week on the podcast. I think all of Andy Dalton's problems were more pertaining to his absence, his time in Cincinnati. His time in Cincinnati. Thank you.
Situation around him. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm searching for words today. I'm checking. My brain is like shutting down as we talk. I think Andy Dalton being in Cincinnati, that's what made him bad. So I think being in an offense that has all this talent and has Mike McCarthy as the head coach, it really does like help his stock. So I don't think he's going to be terrible, but I think this does hurt. Is obviously CeeDee Lamb has been playing out of his mind, and I don't think he's going to be as good. I would hope he is because I love CeeDee Lamb. I think he's ridiculous. What he's doing in the first 5 weeks is crazy. Go look up his numbers, by the way. Anyway, I think this hurts Amari Cooper a lot.
I think so. Unfortunately, I think week to week basis with Dak in there was a chance you could start Gallup, you could start Lamb, and you could start Cooper.
All three together.
With the amount of yards that Dak throws a game, he throws like 400 to 500 yards. Like all three of those guys had a chance to get 100-yard games or close to it. But with Andy Dalton in there, I think it hurts Cooper's value for redraft. I think it hurts CeeDee Lamb's value for now, and I think it hurts Michael. I think it hurts all three of those guys. I don't think it hurts Zeke, but the
Zeke's
three wide receivers, I think it hurts all of their values.
I feel like they're just gonna feed Zeke the ball for like 80% of the game.
Yeah, Zeke's gonna eat probably. I'm not saying that those three wide receivers are gonna be bad. I just don't think.
Yeah.
It'll be as good as it was with Dak.
Like if I had to do rest of season rankings, I would probably say that I would have Amari Cooper 6 or 7 with Dak. And now he's probably 11 or 12 without.
I was going to say 12.
A good 5 or 6 spot drop for me. I don't know where you rank him with Dak, but
yeah, no, with Dak, I probably would have had him because the year he's been having probably around like 7.
Yeah.
But now he's definitely probably around like 12 or 13 for me.
Yeah, I think you have to take the injury with a grain of salt. If you had a Dak Cooper stack, you are not feeling too good about that. But
unfortunately,
we're going to have to see as the season goes along. Obviously, we know Amari Cooper as a boom bust player. In the first couple weeks of the season, that boom bust player was not here. He was having week-to-week floor games of 13 points. And when he scored, it was like 19, 20. It's what you're looking for from a top 6, top 7 wide receiver. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now without Dak Prescott, I think there's a chance that he could go back to, his time when he was with Derek Carr, getting these 30-point games and then getting 0. You know what I mean? And he obviously is more influential in this style offense with Mike McCarthy. So it's a different kind of system. They like to get their number one receiver involved a lot. So I think they're going to target him, but I think his target share can drop from like 9, 10 targets a game to 7. And it just doesn't look great for Amari Cooper. He's still going to have his big games, but I think the floor is going to drop a little bit for him. And that's why I would move him down.
Yeah. I agree.
But I think as far as the effects, this has no effects on whether the Dallas Cowboys can win or lose, to be honest with you. Because they just lose.
I think
anyway.
It hurts their chances, but because they're in such a bad division that I don't really think
they might make the playoffs with the red rifle, and he'll go to the Super Bowl and win. Out of all people,
well, let's calm down.
Hey, listen, Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, so
yeah. I mean, with that division being so bad, there is still a very good chance they're going to win that division.
Yeah, right.
The Eagles can figure it out.
Right. Let's move to the next point. Baker Mayfield he got smacked on Sunday. I don't remember if he came back into the game, but it looked like a rib injury.
Mm-hmm. He said, I could be wrong, but they asked him if he planned on playing next week, and he's like, "Yeah, I ain't no baby."
Good God, Baker! I gotta say,
it was something along those lines.
Some people can look at Baker Mayfield and think, or look at quarterbacks who do commercials and think they're just utter tool bags when they do them. I think the Rodgers commercials are funny with State Farm, but
yes,
I think they're funny, but I do think they're overdone a lot. Baker's commercials, is it Progressive? His commercials with Progressive, I think, where he's in the stadium and he's like at home.
Oh, Hulu too.
Or is it? Yeah, Hulu is funny, but I think it's Progressive, where he's at home and he lives at his stadium. Those commercials are just unreal. I can't. They're funny every time. Like he's carrying bags inside his stadium and he's trying to get. He calls out for his wife to come get it. He can't get through the stupid gate. He drops his keys. I'm like, that's literally. Rick, you don't struggle with this yet because you're not married, but that's literally me every single week. So
wow.
Bad. Anyway, so Baker, he practiced Wednesday too, so he is no big baby. Yes. And he's going to play.
No, guess not.
Dalvin Cook hurt his groin in, I believe it was Sunday's game. Mm-hmm. He is not practicing Wednesday. He did not practice Wednesday. If he did practice over the next couple days, obviously go Google Dalvin Cook right now and see if that is okay. But x-rays came back negative. He isn't expected to play, but there is a rumor floating around that he and Mike Zimmer, or is it Mike Zimmer? I can't remember. Who's the head coach?
Mike Zimmer, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I got that right. That they both sat down and talked, and Dalvin said he can play this week and he feels fine and that they're willing to put him in the game. But they also like to play it safe. The bye week is the following week. So I think what they would do is hold him out for 2 weeks and just let him heal before the second half of the season.
I think precautionary, that'd probably be the smartest thing to do.
Right. So, I mean, Alexander Madison, obviously, if there's any other way, but who are they playing this week?
I never have the list every time you ask that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I just ruined your life.
The Vikings play, if my laptop loads, they play the Falcons this week. That's right. They had Kirk Cousins as their start of the week.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they plays the Falcons this week, so they'll be fine, I think, without him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We do have some Le'Veon Bell news that we just got in. No signing. I would hit breaking news if there was signing. And the news show. Breaking news in the news show. It says Le'Veon Bell is prioritizing a role in offense and a chance to win among part of his free agency evaluation. Many people around the league believe Chiefs will have interest because of fit. Bell also trains in Miami, so perhaps the Dolphins are also a consideration, which that would be a decent landing spot for him, considering that the Dolphins are actually winning games and Fitzmagic is out of his mind.
Yeah.
Can I be a Dolphins fan for 5 minutes? It was like 2 weeks ago. Like, I think Fitzmagic had 360 yards and he scored a rushing touchdown and had a bunch of rushing yards too, but he threw 2 interceptions in the game. And everyone was like, oh my God, they need to go to Tua. And then the following week, he scores 5 touchdowns.
Everybody likes Tua. I love Tua too. I think he was right there with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Like a 1A, 1B type of quarterback prospect. But Fitzpatrick's playing too well right now. I wouldn't bench him. Like, and if he plays this well the whole season, then Tua's just going to have to sit out for his rookie year like Mahomes did, which is fine. Like, for his development, if anything, it's good.
Yeah. Right.
Bell to the Dolphins would be interesting.
Let's jump right into that now. I put this in the notes, but it was a little bit later in the show, so we're just going to talk about it now.
Okay.
On I think it was on Tuesday afternoon, the Jets came out and said that they were shopping Le'Veon Bell prior to the November 3rd trade deadline. See, this says November 3rd, and up here it says October 29th. So I don't know which freaking date it is. Anyway, so they wanted to shop him before the trade deadline, but the Jets ended up cutting him on Wednesday. So as of right now, obviously we don't know where Bell is going to go. He might sign before then. Obviously, we just referenced the Chiefs. Miami would be a good place for him to go. I told you Washington would be a decent place for him to go, as well as what was the other team I said? I think I said Washington, San Francisco, and I think the Cardinals are not out of the option.
Right.
Their running back coach right now is the running back coach of the Steelers back when Bell was playing with the Steelers. So I think there's some, it is an interesting connection, but I think there's some situations there. If you had to peg one team right now, who would it be?
I think, the Dolphins seem like very interesting, but he wants to win as well. I've heard the Bears a lot too, which I think could be interesting. Mm-hmm. So I'd say probably Dolphins, Bears, or Chiefs. But Chiefs might not. He'll win with the Chiefs, but he might not have the opportunity. So it really depends what he values more.
Right. I mean, I hope he signs somewhere where he can get more opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone's rooting for him to go to the Chiefs so hard. That would ruin Clyde. I really think they want to I don't think the Chiefs are putting it out though. I think the Chiefs are just interested in anybody.
I think the Chiefs also like the faster players. Like they're into speed and I love Bell, but he's not a fast player. He's
faster than
cerebral running back.
Right. Anyway, let's move into our next point because we got to close the show up. But Devonta Freeman, he practiced on Monday, and that's the only news I have for him.
He practiced on Wednesday as well.
Okay, all right, thank you.
On I think it was on pace to play this week.
I would say that if he practiced both days in full, he's on pace for play.
Yes.
Coming off the bye week, he has been out for a couple weeks now with this hamstring injury. So it's good to see Devontae Adams coming back. I also wanted to note Michael Thomas missed this past week's game, not because of injury, but because of misconduct. Whatever that means. Turning into Antonio Brown here.
Oh,
I guess
yes.
All receivers.
I heard he got into a fight with one of the players.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, he is kind of turning into Antonio Brown a little bit. Not as bad, but...
Yeah, right. But, people said that when he was quiet.
Yeah, that's true.
The Associated Press's Stephen Reed says there's little chance McCaffrey plays this week against the Bears. I think he's going to play next week. I don't see why Carolina needs to rush him back. They've actually been winning, and
Mike Davis has played well.
Mike Davis has played well in the role. He didn't practice Wednesday, so I would be very hesitant on McCaffrey. Don't they have a bye week coming up too, or did they already go through that? I can't remember what week the bye week is.
I think they have a bye week coming up.
So I think it's either like week 8 or 7 or 8 or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, it could be week 13. Who knows? I could be just completely destroying myself right now. Anyway, Adam Gase said he's considering everything to get the team headed in the right direction. I put this in here.
Firing himself?
That's what I was going to say. Firing himself. Just quit.
stepping down from the
You
role.
suck. He's horrible. Oh.
Well, he's bad. He is bad. But at this point now, he also has no players. Like, that team is just a mess right
Yeah,
now.
but it's because of him. If
it
I'm
is
Adam,
because of
if
him.
I was
Yeah,
if I was
trust me,
Sam
it's-
Darnold, I would go into that office and do exactly what Le'Veon Bell did.
Yep.
I would say, get rid of me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
I mean, that team is a joke right now. I think they could easily go 0-16.
Yeah,
The way they're
horrible.
going right
I
now.
did not expect the Jets to be as bad as they have been.
And I know you have this in the news, but it's related to this, and it's Sam Darnold. He's been ruled out for
Mm-hmm.
week 6. That is a joke too, because he
should
has
be
said
playing.
that he can play. I don't know what's going on with the Jets. He went back into the game, played fine, actually played well, and then the next week they started Joe Flacco, and now they're sitting him again
You know what I
This
think it is? It's Adam Gase trying to save his job.
by benching Sam Darnold. I mean, I
Not
just don't get
benching.
it.
It's not. He's not benching Sam Darnold. He's trying to make it. I think he's trying to make it look like he's.
So look, we have to play with that.
Yeah,
backup
like
quarterback.
no, like that. His losses aren't because of him. It's because Darnold has been out, so they won't fire him. But as soon as Sam Darnold comes back and they get blown out again, they're gonna fire Gase.
Right.
So maybe he's just pushing off the inevitable. But considering everything, would possibly maybe starting your first overall pick quarterback. I don't
third
know.
overall pick, actually. I think.
What was it, third overall? I don't know. Anyway, just like Adam Gase is a waste of space, dude. He's a waste of full-on NFL space.
The Jets need a complete reset. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they move on from Darnold too, which is a shame. But
You want to hear something you never heard before?
sure.
Sammy Watkins going to miss a couple weeks with a hamstring injury.
Oh, that's crazy. I've never heard that.
Never
one
heard
before.
that one before. If you had Sammy Watkins on your team, I would not be surprised if the Chiefs even put him on IR. But Michael Hardman, man, finally getting the opportunity.
Hey, yeah, hopefully.
Keenan Allen left Monday's game with a back injury. Haven't had any updates so far as when I made this list. I don't know if he's going to play, if he's not going to play, whether he practiced Wednesday or not. So obviously, we'll see what happens with Keenan. Watch that and just make sure he's good to go before you slide him into the lineup. Jarvis,
I know Mike Williams is also, I think, injured too.
Oh, really? He played on Monday
He
night?
did, but I think he got hurt in the game. I could be wrong about that, though.
Jarvis Landry has a rip and hip injury, and he's whatever, man. Not practicing Wednesday. So, and then in the final piece of news that we have 30 seconds to talk about, maybe 45, Broncos running back Melvin Gordon was charged with a DUI on Wednesday night. The man is so rich that he doesn't even need to drive drunk. He could just have a driver.
Yeah, you would think. But
So, yeah, there is speculation that they let him go. I don't know why, but there's speculation that he will not play against the Patriots on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't think he would. So.
Do
People are
you
gonna
think the
say
NFL is going to
Phillips this
suspend him?
season,
I don't. That's why I was trying to edge the this is a personal conduct issue, so they're probably going to suspend him for a couple weeks.
Right. So I don't know about Philip Lindsay this week because it's against the Patriots.
Yeah.
So I'd be kind of iffy about that. But going forward, if Melvin Gordon misses some time, Philip Lindsay will hopefully be in a good situation.
If you own Melvin Gordon, just keep an eye on the situation with Gordon.
Yeah.
And that's all the news we have, unless I forgot something.
I think that's it.
All right, there we go. Fantasy football is fully underway here in week 6. And
Dude, week 6, man.
Isn't it crazy? Don't forget to check out our website, thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And my friends, enjoy your Sunday. See you later.
Peace out.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube and follow us on Twitter @TheFFChamps.